What is up guys, how are you all doing? In today's video I'm going to be talking about the truth about camera hacks. So you've probably seen them, the camera hacks videos, they're everywhere. It's one of the most popular videos for this area of YouTube, so you've probably seen them. Before we start, I just quickly want to point out that there's many great camera hacks that you can use for your videos that actually improves your content. Today, I'm just going to be talking about the camera hacks that are tiny little bit off, just a little bit sketchy. And from the thumbnail, you've probably already guessed one of them. So let's get into it. But before we get to talk about knives, I just quickly want to talk about something else, which is fast lenses, because many of the camera hacks that you see nowadays are people taking something, could be pretty much whatever, putting it in front of the lens and then creating flares or colors, some crazy colors, something like that. The truth about that is that it doesn't work with every single lens, because if you only have I've talked about this for so many times already, but it just keeps on coming. If you only have your kit lens, that probably means you can only go to an aperture of either 3.5 when wide and 5.6 when zoomed in. And a 5.6, if you put something in front of a 5.6 aperture lens, you're not gonna get those cool flares that all the camera hacks suggest that you do, because you actually need a fast lens to get those flares, because you need it to be so shallow that whatever you put in front of the lens is gonna be so out of focus that it just kind of becomes a flare. I've actually made a video on fast lenses. I've probably made more than one. Feel free to check it out in the cards. One of these corners, I guess I'll just never learn what corner it is. One of these corners, check it out, also in the description, where I explain a little bit further what a fast lens is. But basically you just need to have a lens that can go wide with its aperture to, a 2.8, f2, 1.8, 1.4. So basically whatever you put in front of the lens is so out of focus that it basically becomes a flare. So you need a fast lens to create those flares. So I'll just quickly show you an example of putting something in front of the lens at 5.6 and then afterwards at f1.4. And as you can see on the screen right now at f5.6, it is there, but it doesn't really look as cool as when we go over to f1.4. Then you can see that it's basically just a flare. You don't really notice it's an object. It's just so out of focus that it becomes a flare. It's a little bit weird, but that's how it works. And I feel like that's the most important thing about camera hacks, that people don't usually tell you that you actually need a fast lens. And I think that camera hacks are usually targeted towards beginners in filmmaking, which is most likely the people that don't actually know how to use the aperture properly. So I feel like that's a very important information to get out there for all of you who tried putting something in front of the lens and it didn't look as cool as when you saw it on YouTube. Speaking of putting things in front of the lens, please, everyone on YouTube, every new filmmaker, me, everyone, my cat, don't put knives in front of your lens, please. You can get so many other great things to put in front of your lens. You can literally put your finger in front of the lens. You're gonna get a very good flare. Please don't put knives in front of your lens. The only reason putting knives in front of the lens is that so people like me and other YouTubers can get a clickbaity thumbnail. That's all a knife is good for. So my second truth about camera hacks is that you should never put a knife in front of your lens. This just don't do it. If you ever hit that thing, you're just gonna look dumb. And that leads us to the third tip, which is please don't put glue, Vaseline, lipstick. I don't know what you guys put on your lenses, but please don't throw whatever it is that you throw on your lenses. Please don't do that. It's not worth the cleaning. It's just the only thing you really get from that is like that blurry thing, like dream kind of like effect. It looks a little bit weird, but it's also extremely easy to do in post. So I don't see why you would stick on lipstick or whatever you put on your lenses. It's just not worth the cleaning at all. I don't see why that's a good camera hack at all. And so yeah, please don't put knives and please don't put glue or lipstick on your lens. It's just gonna ruin your lens when you could, yeah, in this case you could just do it in post. And with the knife you can just change it to something else. Which leads us to tip number 4, because you could just put in pretty much everything else but a knife. And as I said, you can put in your finger, a leaf, your phone. One of the things that I like to do is put in my sunglasses because it creates like a pretty cool flare. But I'd say that one of the best things you can put in front of your lens to create flares and stuff like that, I don't actually know what it's called. I'll show you on the screen right now. It's like these small glass or plastic, like it looks a little bit like something you put a candle in, I don't know. But these don't hurt your lens. They're completely safe and they create these great colorful flares. So I don't see a problem with these. I'm pretty sure they're cheap. I should probably pick one up myself because they seem to be very handy and they create great flares. I suggest that you go buy one of those instead of putting a knife in front of your lens or putting glue. Just don't. And before we end it, I just quickly want to point out that it's important to remember that there are great camera hacks out there. You can do many great things that can help you shoot, such as the tripod slider. You can use a towel as a slider. There's many great gorilla pod hacks that you can use. There's so many great camera hacks out there. It's just important to say that some of these camera hacks you probably shouldn't do it. Okay, that's all I had to say for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're gonna not pull a knife in front of you. Please don't. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that, and I'll see you guys next time with another video. Goodbye.